Welcome to, what's this, to episode 3. And today we're gonna talk about scheming. You see, I tried to scheme you. Did I succeed? Oh, I don't know, I don't care either. But welcome! For a good 365 days, I'm not sure if it was a leap year or not that year, I cried. I am not exaggerating. Every single day for an entire year, I cried because I had always had a plan. And the plan I did have, obviously, that didn't work out. Shortly after college, I decided to go to law school. Or I said I was going to go to law school. Why law school? To become an entertainment lawyer. And why an entertainment lawyer? Film. Film was always the goal. So whatever I needed to do by any pitiful means necessary, I was going to get to film. I'm studying for the LSAT and probably about 3 or 4 months out from the actual test. I knew that wasn't for me, but I had already paid for that test, so I was gonna take the test regardless. So I decided I was gonna force God's hand, and of course, I was still working at sweet old Sunglass Hut, so I just had compounded misery.
Misery in France, misery betrayed, misery in love.
Now I look back and it's fine. It was totally fine. I decided, okay, Lord, you want to play these games I can play too? I would have lost. I decided I was gonna quit. I left the notice on the back counter because I was too afraid to hand it to the store manager. I left it on that back counter for my entire shift until the end. And I was like, hey, here's my 2 weeks notice. She was like, oh girl, I read that early. I was like, why didn't you say anything? She was like, because you had to tell me. But she was super supportive, and she said, whatever it is that you want to do, you do it. And she said another thing. She said, but when it happens and when it's time, it's going to happen so fast, you're not even going to know what happened. And something about that just sat in my spirit, and I kept it, but I was still quitting. But I had also prayed because, I mean, I was a little stupid, but I wasn't that stupid. I wasn't stuck on stupid. I knew how to do some things right. So I had prayed, and I said, Lord, and this is before I submitted, before I even wrote the thing. I said, Lord, if I'm not supposed to quit, if I'm supposed to stay here, you're going to have to give me an undeniable sign that this is where you want me to be. So submitted it. Maybe a couple of days had passed, and a store manager from a different store, I guess my store manager had called the other store manager and told him. He called me and he said, girl, where you going? And I said, honey, out of here. I got to go. I don't know where I'm going, but I got to get out of here. He said, why don't you give it until February? And if you still feel the same way, then leave. I had forgot a little bit that I prayed that prayer that I prayed, but soon after that conversation, I had been thinking and crying some more, and I remembered the prayer, and I said, okay, I hear you, Lord, but you're gonna have to make this bearable for me. This indie film was coming to town, and they were looking for some people to be casting assistants. I had sent in my application or resume or whatever it was, and I know I was accepted for maybe to work a day or something like that. I was planning to quit so that I could maybe get on that show full time because I think they filmed for like 2 months. And then maybe a day or so later, the regional vice president, I think he was at the time, he called me, and he had a super distinct voice. So I'm not just making fun of him, but he had a really distinct voice. He was like, Alesha, where do you think you're? And I was like, Nick, listen, I got to go. I can't stay here. He was like, no, you just need a vacation. Why don't you just take 2 weeks paid vacation and come back? You'll be fine. It's not time for you to leave yet. So I decided I was gonna go and just stay for a week with my sister in Tennessee. Well, a day or so before I was supposed to go on that vacation, there was like this torrential rain, and everybody was coming into the store. Of course, I had an attitude because I don't know if anybody's ever worked in retail, but when you walk into the door, there's like this little sensor over it, and it's counting every freaking person who comes in. And of course, ain't nobody coming up in there to buy nothing because they just trying to get out the race. So I'm pissed because now you messing up my conversion. But that's besides the point. This one girl walks in and she has like flyers in her hand or something. So I said, I'm gonna be kind. She came over to me and she hands me this flyer and she's like, hey, we need some extras to come work on this film. And I said, is the name of this film whatever the name of the film was? And she was like, yeah. I said, well, actually, I'm supposed to come and work a day as a casting assistant. She was like, oh, well, I work in the casting department. So we exchanged information, and fast forward to now I'm at my sister's house, and I get a call from this girl who I had met at the store, and she says, hey, are you available to work tomorrow? And I said, absolutely. So I got my cute little self right on up, and I took my cute little self right on back to Birmingham. And I was so thrilled to be on set. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was having the absolute best time doing it. And there was one day we were between sets, or like between takes or something, and we were all sitting around, some of the assistants and some of the principal cast. We were sitting around, and one of the actors was going around asking all of the assistants what it is that they wanted to do in the film industry, what we wanted to do in the film industry. And she got to me and I said, well, I'm gonna be a lawyer. I'm gonna be an entertainment lawyer. And she said, well, why are you here? I said, oh, just for the experience. I don't remember, I said something stupid like that. And she said, no, you wanna be doing this, so why wouldn't you just diligently pursue this?
Brilliant.
I took that with me and I said, man, I guess this is, because the freaking goal was always, only reason I was going to law school, or said I was going to law school, was to be an entertainment lawyer, to then make my own films or somehow figure out how to get in the film industry from that way. I said, you know what I'm gonna do in all my scheming? I'm gonna just immerse myself in everything film related that I can find. So I had a professor who had found, she was one of the founders of a film festival in Birmingham, Alabama, that is. I don't know that there's a Birmingham anywhere else in America. So she had founded this film festival called Sidewalk Film Festival. So I Googled it, and I found every single way that I could volunteer with them. I went to they would have these saloons. I don't remember what the heck we did at those saloons, but I just remember it was called that. They would have table reads, they would have screenings of indie films or student films, everything I could find to be involved in film in any capacity. I did that, and I did that for a good like 8-9 months. Another thing I did, I was already a big sister with big brothers and big sisters, but at that time I didn't have a little sister. And from Sunglass Hut, I'm just saying, don't be knocking your day job, because it'll bless you. It'll bless your whole soul. I met my little sister. She and her mom had just come into the store. They were new to the area. They had moved to Birmingham from New York. And this little girl's personality was just so, it was so similar to mine that I was like, why don't you enroll her or like register her to be in Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I could be her big sister. And it would just expose her, because she was so, I could tell she was so creative, and she did end up going to a performing arts school. But I could just see that she was so creative, and we would have so much fun together. She was like 9 or 10. And her mom did that. I became her big sister. But I said all of that to say, one thing that was so crucial to how I even got through that season of my life is that once I started serving others and got the focus off of myself and what I felt were my pitfalls and what I felt was misery, my whole outlook, my whole demeanor changed. I was much happier. I had a lot more joy. I was more tolerant, more patient with people. Ooh, honey, got a little spit there. And once I started serving others, that changed so much for me. On a show where I was an office PA, I was responsible for sending the camera logs to all of the people who needed the camera logs, and I was also responsible for transporting the camera footage to one of the editors. Every morning when I would send out my little camera log, I would send little messages of hope and encouragement, and it would give me so much joy when the few couple people would respond back to me and say how that had helped them have a better day, or it would help them to actually have a good day because they have been having a rough time. I formed a friendship with the assistant editor because I love to send GIFs. I know people say GIFs, it's GIF. I don't care what you say, it's GIF. But whenever I would tell them I'm on my way with the footage, I would send GIFs, and we formed a bond just from me sending these funny little GIFs. This is an industry where you spend so much of not just your time, your life, your energy, everything. It's like what you work in 1 month, it takes a person working a 40-hour-a-week job 3 months. And so when you're giving that much of yourself, it's really difficult to replenish yourself. So that was a way where I know it's like you're giving something out, but you're actually like almost giving life to somebody, and life just continues to come back. So if you really want to be in this industry, and like I said in the first episode, how if you are not built for it, if you're not prepared for it, if you don't have a firm, spiritual, solid foundation, it will take you out. And it will, because it does become a part of your life. The people that you are working with become a part of your life. Whether you like them or not, they become, because you spend so much time with these people. So while you are in your day job, and while you are out there scheming and trying to figure out ways to get out of that day job, find a way to serve others, to immerse yourself in what it is that you want to be doing. Do that while also still at your day job, because your day job, that's your soft landing. And it doesn't feel like it. It feels like hard knocks, but it's not. It's really a very soft landing pad for you. So the days you have off, go out there and serve somebody. Go over there and read somebody's script, or go over there and learn how to break down a script, or learn how to read a call sheet, or find a producer that you like, or something like that, or a director that you like, and immerse yourself in the things that you can control. And that's all I got for now. I don't know why I said it like that. Oh, I just love myself. But anywho, thank you so much for watching this time, and I'm so excited for you to watch next week, and the week after, and the week after, and the week after. I'll see you later. I appreciate you for subscribing, and I hope you'll comment below.